At our ASCO meeting, we presented a sort of updated results of phase 1/phase 1b study of regorafenib plus pembrolizumab in patient with advanced hepatocellular carcinoma. The results of this trial has been presented multiple times in previous congresses, but now we have sort of updated results with more of an efficacy data. As you may recall, this was a phase 1 study where we were trying to dose escalate the regorafenib from 80 milligrams to 120, along with standard dose of pembrolizumab. And we found that the maximum tolerated dose was at actually 120 milligrams. However, at 120 milligrams of regorafenib plus pembrolizumab, there were a lot of patients who required dose reduction due to toxicity of the combination. Therefore, we felt that the 80 milligrams was the appropriate dose to move on to a larger study. Therefore, we had a sort of separate cohort where we added additional patients to 80 milligrams of regorafenib plus pembrolizumab. Now, with this updated results, we have about 30 patients in each arm of a patient who got 120 milligrams of regorafenib plus standard dose of pembrolizumab, and also 80 milligrams of regorafenib plus standard dose of pembrolizumab. And what it showed was that, at least in terms of the efficacy perspective, it was pretty similar in both arms. Once again, it was not a randomized study trying to compare one versus the other, but the response rates on both arms was about 30%. The median PFS was around 7 months in both arms. Now, the median overall survival, which was only presented at 120 milligrams because of the long-term follow-up on those patients, was around 26 months. Now, once again, these are patients who are first-line patients who are newly diagnosed advanced hepatocellular carcinoma. So obviously, it's a phase 1b study, but 26-month OS survival benefit in first line is a pretty good number to compare to. The efficacy-wise, there definitely seems to be promising hints of activity of the combination. Other thing that we noticed is that at 80 milligrams, there were definitely less toxicity, okay, compared to 120 milligrams, and less patients need to have dose modified. Okay, so based on our study, we felt that using 80 milligrams of regorafenib does not compromise the efficacy. However, it does definitely improve the safety data. So obviously moving forward based on our data, the recommended dose would be 80 milligrams of regorafenib plus standard dose of pembrolizumab. Now, if you put this in a bigger picture, once again, the concept of this was based on the fact that we're combining TKI plus immunotherapy in HCC, and the rationale is that the multi-kinase inhibitors is able to change the microenvironment of the tumor to make the immunotherapy work better. Now, this concept has been studied in HCC as well, and there are actually larger studies, phase 3 study that's been conducted, and it has finished accrual, including the LEAP study and the COSMIC study. These are trials using lenvatinib and cabozantinib plus a checkpoint inhibitor in first-line setting in phase 3 study. My understanding is that those trials have finished accrual, and we're eagerly awaiting the results of those trials. But the earlier studies that they conducted, the results are very comparable to our study, showing that clearly, I think there's synergistic activity of using TKI and IO. Now, obviously, with the phase 3 data that's hopefully will read out sometime this year or maybe earlier next year, it may also change the landscape of treatment of HCC at that time. Currently, at this time, the standard first-line treatment is atezolizumab plus bevacizumab, which is an anti-VEGF inhibitor plus an IO inhibitor. So we're eagerly waiting those results, but I think our data with combination of regorafenib and pembrolizumab sort of supports the combination of TKI and IO, where I think there's definitely synergistic activity, and hopefully we'll see the result of those phase 3 study that will read out sometime this year.